Here come the fun police. Ever have or see or hear of a great idea, particularly in property, and it just doesn't happen because there's so many people that are negative? Let's talk about how it happens in property and how you can make a change.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael BURGIO, Mark Novak, episode 524, the fun police. This one's a good topic. This is, if we don't say so ourselves, but I think it's an interesting topic. I reckon it hits the core of your community, your area, and I think this can resonate for people either with property, but also in our community. And what sort of got this talking was on yesterday's topic about the improvements the changes they're making to DY Beach. And I sort of said to Mark, how annoying is it and frustrating that we don't whatever word you want to use, utilize, privatize, commercialize the beach. Because what led this were the changes they make to the Strand. Yes, it may suck for business owners, you lose parking, but it may bring more bodies to the beach, therefore your business prospers. But then it's okay, they make that change, but what about creating more of a park? What about entertainment, a bar closer to the beach, or something as easy as the chairs, pergolas like they do all throughout Europe? Why is it not happening? I find it crazy. It's we have the most beautiful beaches in the world, and it's almost as a society, as a community, we're just yep, that's all we need to do. But it's where's all the added stuff? There are so many other areas in the world which have inferior everything to us, whether beaches, but they add so much value. There's so much value added, but there's so much stuff we don't do. And it's either from people like the fun police. They pull out, I don't know, it's not safe, climate, no, or reluctant to change. There's always a million reasons not to do something, but it would be better for the area. Imagine having imagine just having thousands of people down there, and locals. I don't know, it just gives frustration.
A classic example is chairs and umbrellas, right? So if in Europe and most part America, they will, or particularly in Europe, they'll say, if you haven't been there, they'll say, if you use the beach, there you go anywhere you want. Now, if you want some deck chairs, $1 a deck chair. If you want a monster umbrella, $2 for a monster umbrella, or a canopy of a sort. And now, okay, so you're going, well, shit, that's good. I don't have to bring it myself. I can. It's a bit lax I like this. I'm spoiling myself. Whatever, as simple as that may be. But then there's the fun police, and the fun police are going, no. That's just because someone's got a bit of money. It doesn't mean that the people that don't want to pay, who can't afford it, shouldn't have it as well. So it's almost I think you used the word before off air, capitalism. And it's why wouldn't you supply that service to people? And why do people sort of block that sort of activity to happen? And, there's so much beauty for us to use. And we can even see it in other countries and go, that is good. You can see people voting with their money, saying, I'll give me 10 chairs, give me 2 chairs, give me 3 chairs, whatever they are. It's working. Even music on the beach. There's putting a DJ on the beach. Mate, I don't like music on the beach. Fine, just move 500 meters up that way. I like music on the beach. Great, come closer. But no, it gets ruined for everyone. No DJ on the beach, allowed in other countries, but not in Australia because of the fun police. It sucks.
Yeah, it's almost we find there's always someone who's not going to like something. And it's almost we only listen to them. It's we don't want to upset you. If you don't want to see chairs on the beach, then we won't do it. But what about all the people? Well, it's like this, Mark. I think it's like anything in society. The people who complain are the smallest amount of people, but they're the loudest. I think I remember hearing something like to take over a company, take over a regime or whatever, you only need like 15, 20%. You don't need the mass. You don't need the majority of people. You just need a small amount of people that move together and same message and are very loud and vocal. And I think always the anti-talk is always very loud and vocal. I reckon, like, if you look at, it's like even putting a cafe or a restaurant closer to the water, that would be more convenient for people. There's a million reasons not to. But I also think there's always that disconnect where people are like, well, if I can't make money for it, why would I fight for the cafe there? Or in councils, they're a little bit like that. They're like, well, I can sort of get away with not doing it, even though I think it would be better for the area. But people don't know if it would be better because we've never had it. But you look at all these beautiful areas where people travel to overseas and they all have it. It's like, well, why aren't we trying it here? Like, we're willing to take away parking and redo the road. Why aren't we willing to try and put some tables and chairs and down at the beachfront and see if we can make that a better experience? You could do with less parking if you went to the beach and you had everything down there, and you get jobs, stimulate the economy. Like, it's all that stuff, and you can work through the issues. But I find it's not even a conversation.
I'll give you a working example. How many cafes and restaurants wanted outdoor seating in the last 5, 10, 15 years and got it during COVID? Right?
Yeah.
Everyone went, poor cafe, poor restaurant, approve their outdoor seating because of COVID, right? So it's like, man, it was a great idea. It was a great idea 5 years ago. It was a great idea 10 years ago when we asked for the outdoor, and it's still a bloody great idea, and now you're approving it. Why should it take, like COVID, for and I understand this is not a council problem, this is a community problem. Why should it take something like COVID, to make it, to approve this great concept? People have been walking on sidewalks, cafes in France, Paris for bloody 50 years. And then we've only started doing it, okay, that's technically not your land outside. I don't know if you're insured or not for it. Make it happen. Anmal says it sounds like more of an effort dealing with haters, and it's an easy approach to deal with upsetting them. That's right. Certain people have issues with many things until they work, and then it was their idea. Sounds like Meriton and DY, Lisa.
And to be honest, I think this could be what social media maybe it's probably been more so in the last 10, 15 years, because through social media, everyone's got a louder voice. And the dumber voices are louder as well. The negativity is louder as well. So before, if you were, wanting to open up a restaurant, you would just deal with council, maybe a few letters go out. You wouldn't have that impact and it would go through. But these days, a Facebook post will have 1,000 people telling you you're evil and you shouldn't open that up there. And how could you do that? Talk about the climate. And nothing ever happened. So I think as much as there's some great things about society and social media, there are some negatives. I think everyone's...
It's getting harder. It's getting harder. And it's getting harder. Like that. Yeah. That is for sure. That is for sure. All this compliance. One of my favourite cafes in Sydney is a toilet block, an unused toilet block, right? The thing sat there for probably 40 years unused. And finally someone's come along and had the initiative to say, and I'm not saying, I'm sure they've been approached many times, but I'm saying whether it's in council, whether it's community members supporting it, that's a sort of attitude that works well. Look, common property on unit blocks is a perfect example. You see a courtyard, it comes off a unit. It can't be accessed by any other unit. It's literally blocked in every direction. And then that person who lives in the unit and who wants to use the courtyard in front of their unit and it's not on title for them, everyone in the building says no. And it's like, idiots. You would rather mow lawnmower, whippersnip that courtyard for the last 30, 40 years, and the next 30, 40 years that you're not going to enjoy, give it to the person who's got the adjoining lot and let them maintain it so you don't have to maintain it every year.
But I think it's even worse than that.
No.
I think it's even worse than that. It's not about, it's more about, if I can't have it, you can't have it either.
Yes,
you can't get a free win, a bonus, if I can't get a bonus. It's very sort of ugly how society is with
give
that
it to
type
them.
of thing. Back in the day, like going to your next, you hear of all the old stories, maybe back when you were growing up, going next door to borrow a cup of sugar. These days, if you go next door to borrow a cup of sugar, they're like, well, what do I get? Do you have like that? Yeah. That would be the sort of attitude. And I think we get a lot of that with like, our beaches are such a simple way we could really improve the community. And I would have hoped throughout like a year like this where a lot of indoor activities closed down. Like I do love that at least Manly have the volleyball nets there on a weekend, but like take that to a next level. Like that is perfect. Great. Do more of that. Like the beach, there's so many beaches out there and they're so big. You could have a section where there's chairs. And then if you don't like the white chairs, you can get green chairs and pergolas. Like there is so much room for everybody, but it's almost like we don't do anything because it could piss off somebody. Do everything for everybody. So I just think...
And one thing, I remember Kerry Pack has done this brilliant talk. If anyone ever wants to Google it, it's a tax investigation that he was under. And he turned around and said, if you are going to restrict somebody's rights, civil rights, he goes, there's thousands of civil rights that do absolutely nothing for no one. But if you're going to restrict someone's rights, take away someone's rights in the act, give them their rights. Repeal another act that's unused or shit. It's one of those things that I think Europeans come to Sydney and they bloody love it. We love it because it's regulated and it's safe and stuff. But equally at the same time, they're turning around saying, dude, I was talking to an American landlord the other day and she said, like, what a joke. Like some of the stuff you cannot do in this country is just amazing. It's out of control.
Yeah, I think we're heading down a path which is way too safe. Like kids are going to be in bubble wrap. Like when you look at people in other countries manage with far less, and I just think it's stopping a lot of progression. So the message out there today is property is key. Building sites, they use bamboo and they got no... Like they're using bamboo scaffolding and they still manage to build
office towers.
And they still do it without people dying and stuff like that. Yes, it's safe for what we do, but I think that where we're going more and more is just getting more and more ridiculous, more and more compliance, red tape, and less imagination, less creativeness, because people go, well, instead of trying to start a business and do chairs on the beachfront, people are just thinking, too much red tape, too much of a headache, and that's not good. It may not punish you in this decade, but imagine decade upon decade of saying no. Compliance.
And Melbourne's a perfect example, Burge. Melbourne's a perfect example of just having a go with creativity and seeing where it goes, running with it, and it works. So what a message from me today is fund police. Thank you for the regulation and we're a safe country and it's all good. But if there's a great idea, don't squash every one of them. Just give them a go. Give them a sample for 6 months or 3 months or 9 months or something and just say, look, we're just going to see how it goes. And an example of that is deck chairs on the beach. Yeah. Right? This summer, let's have a go. Let's see if it works. Someone will pay a bit of lease for that block of dirt or for where they want to put the chairs and stuff. See if it works. And if it doesn't work, we're never going to do it again. We tried, but just have a go.
Well, we're coming from like growing up, it was always like just give it a go, do your best. If it doesn't work, it's okay. At least you tried. Now we're almost telling kids, no, it's too risky. Don't try. There's no point. Like that whole concept of just give shit a go is out the window. And it's like, no. 2 other people did it and they couldn't make it work. Why could you do it? It's like, no. So if we did that for everything, we would have no innovation. If our standard was someone else tried and they didn't do it, so I won't be able to do it. Like, no, you try it, do it differently. I think, yeah.
In real estate, in councils, when someone comes up with a great idea, community, let's try to support it.
Yeah, I want to see chairs at the beach by next year.
This summer. All right,
summer. That was good. I like that. Give it a try.
Give it a try.
All right.
Take care,
Thanks,
Mr.
everyone.
Burgio.
Cheers.
See everyone. Cheers.